Commissioners' regular board meeting for the date of Wednesday, October 24th, 2018 at 10 a.m. is now in session. Let the record reflect that there was no executive session held, therefore no need for certification. We'll have our roll call and then the Pledge of Allegiance.
Commissioner Tommy Williams.
Here.
Commissioner Juanita Jackson.
Here.
Commissioner Renee Patterson.
Present.
Commissioner Reverend Dwight Gardner.
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will entertain a motion that we would approve the minutes for the board meeting of October 10th, 2018.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Tommy Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Juanita Jackson.
Yes.
Commissioner Renee Patterson.
Yes.
Commissioner Reverend Dwight Gardner.
Yes. I would address your attention to the claims as submitted for the date of October 24th, 2018. Any questions from board members? Then I will entertain a motion that we would approve claims as presented.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Tommy Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Juanita Jackson.
Yes.
Commissioner Renee Patterson.
Yes.
Commissioner Reverend Dwight Gardner.
Yes. I'll now turn your attention to the payroll submitted for the pay date of October 12th, 2018, which covers the dates of September 17th through September 30th.
Mr. President, if I could add a comment about this report.
Go right ahead.
This is the last payroll that we had our seasonal employees on. So all of our beach staff, lifeguards, security personnel, a couple of our groundskeepers. So they have officially fulfilled their term of employment with us, and we really appreciate their hard work and doing the summer months.
Questions or comments from board members? Then I will entertain a motion that we would approve the payroll as submitted.
So moved. Or second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Tommy Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Juanita Jackson.
Yes.
Commissioner Renee Patterson.
Yes.
Commissioner President Dwight Gardner.
Yes. That takes us to our legal report.
We have one contract before the board today, which is the signed location lease with the Lamar Company. And it's at the location of I-8094, right there at Chase Street. The annual fee is $1,800, payable annually, or 25% of the net earnings, whichever is greater. It's a 10-year lease, so that's before the board today.
It's an annual payment, though, right?
Annual payment, $1,800 or 25% of the net receipts, or whatever's greater.
Over the 10-year period.
That's correct.
Questions, comments from board members?
How does this compare with what was previously agreed upon?
We didn't have 25%. in
Okay,
there.
so, okay.
So we have access to that, which it should be greater.
Okay.
This is based on, their advertising revenue.
Thank you.
Any other questions from board members? Then I will entertain a motion that we would approve the leasing contract with Lamar Advertising.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Tommy Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Juanita Jackson.
Yes.
Commissioner Renee Patterson.
Yes.
And Commissioner President Gardner.
Yes.
No other contracts for the board today.
Administrative reports.
All right, Felicia Jackson, Marquette.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Kamisha Jackson, the interim executive director at Market Park Pavilion. I have a couple concerns and a couple action items. The pedestrian bridge is in need of some repair work, and I did include a photo so you all can see it. It's that would be the south side of the bridge. The bottom is buckling, so we need to get we're in a process of getting 3 quotes so we can get that repaired. The second item is that Mrs. Blair from the Blind Social Center called and asked for an extension for her pass-through balance in an amount of $1,637.04. Payment was due October the 17th, and I provided that letter as well with her request.
She didn't ask for a time of extension.
So I did send an email, and I asked her, did she have a time in mind? And if not, I offered for the next 4 months, if she can pay $400, I think it was $409.26 for the next 4 months. She emailed back and said no, she would try to pay it all by December the 31st. And if she couldn't pay it by December the 31st, she would like to pay $250 for the next 6 months, starting in January.
Well, let me do this first. Questions or comments from board members?
Okay, I remember this particular issue when we first talked about letting them have it. And I understand now why you like to get your payment in full, because you want to avoid situations like this. So, because we've allowed her to go past the extension anyway, what other options do we have?
Well, to carry over indebtedness into the next fiscal year, it puts us out of compliance with our, with the State Board of Accounts in terms of the way we handle things. And so, I'm not opposed to an extension, but I don't think the extension should move us into the new year. So you get basically 60 to 75 days to make this whole.
Okay, legal, do we have any
I guess
recommendations?
whatever, I mean, I think we follow the lead of the president and we put it in writing to her. If she doesn't comply with it, then we can take legal action from that point. So 60 days.
60 days?
Well, I mean, that still would take us to December 31st is when she said she was gonna have it paid. So just send her out another email indicating, that it has to be paid in full by then, or next steps will be legal actions. There's gonna be no settlement or payments taken after that.
My action item is that Dr. Shelley Thomas, and her husband, which are here, and family, they had a ceremony and reception in Marquette Park Pavilion, September the 15th, 2018. They are requesting a 30% refund in an amount of $1,147.50 from the facility. The reasoning is listed in the report given to you, and it is 4 pages long, and I attached it so everyone can see it and read over everything.
I'm going to call for an executive session for our next meeting, where we will review and discuss the complaint, and then we will be prepared to perhaps make a ruling during our open session.
Okay. And my triumphs and thanks. We are in the process of adding 2 part-time custodians and 1 administrative assistant to the team. And we are excited about the direction that we're headed in. Ms. Flossie Davis celebrated her 95th birthday celebration in Marquette. 300 guests were in attendance, and they gave us a positive review on Facebook. And we also received compliments and inquiries from several guests. And please do not forget, Friday, November the 2nd is the kickoff for the After Work Relax from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. And Sunday, November the 11th, 2018, our Southern Sunday Brunch from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Please come out and support.
Any comments or questions from board members?
Now, Commissioner, you'll be at that executive session, correct?
Yes.
When we have it, okay, because we would like for you to come with your recommendation as well in regards to the matter. That's okay.
It's okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Smith.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. First announcement, we are pleased, I am pleased, and thank you to Mr. Superintendent. We have a new team member on board. We just brought on board our female custodian. Her name is Cheryl Sams. We were in dire need of a female custodian, and she came on board with us this past Saturday. And so we have a new member of the team now, so we're very excited about that. Just a quick update on membership and room rentals. Our memberships are steadily increasing. I would say on average, we have about 10 to 12 people that are joining weekly, at least 10 to 12 people. So membership applications are steadily increasing. Room rentals, we've been very, very busy, inundated, which is a very, very good thing. As far as our racquetball rooms, our indoor tennis court, our tracks, and our aerobics rooms. So we have groups like the Steel City track team, we have the Steel City Pop Warner cheerleaders, the Elite Dancing Dolls, and Nicole Woods. They have been utilizing all of the racquetball room areas, so we've really been inundated with rentals, which is a great thing. So we've been really busy, and we're getting inquiries every day for prospective groups that are looking to rent space here at our facility. And so some of the local schools that will be coming back on board for the utilization of our indoor track for indoor season, of course, is Thea Bowman Leadership Academy, 21st Century, Gary Lighthouse, Steel City, and of course Biddy Basketball. Those sign-ups, I've spoken with Coach Terrellin, and she will start Biddy Basketball sign-ups this coming Saturday. She has been coming throughout the week, and she will be housed here in the boardroom. So we've been getting a lot of inquiries from parents and members, but we hadn't yet been given a lot of information. So I had a chance to have a conversation with Coach T, and she will be here this coming Saturday at 10:30 if we have any youth that are interested in, for those parents that have been seeking information about that.
Can I add something? Steel City Biddy actually sent me, as you all know, every year we adjust our rates to accommodate Steel City Biddy basketball. And so every year they do that, they have to come before the board to get yay or nay approval. They have forwarded me a letter, I think I just got it, it's either Monday or yesterday, to be considered for 2018-2019. So if it's okay with the rest of you, can we discuss that at the executive session?
Sure.
And supply order update. We've submitted, superintendent has, we've been working we're in dire need of supplies here at the facility. So we're just waiting on cleaning supplies, toiletries, things of that nature, toilet paper, paper towels. and all of the cleaning supplies that our maintenance staff would need to ensure that we are keeping up the cleanliness, of the facility. So we're waiting. We have orders in to Ajax, and we had to resubmit information because there were some discrepancies on the previous purchase order. So we are diligently working on that to ensure that our staff, our maintenance staff, can make sure that we are the upkeep of the facility in terms of cleanliness is appropriate. So we're waiting on supplies, but we are in dire need of supplies.
How does that work? Talk to me about the flow of how the supplies are ordered, how they come in, and how they are paid for.
So, and me being new, transitioning into this role from superintendent has shared with me the process. To my understanding, the very first document that should be submitted is the ERF, correct?
Right, ERF stands for Expenditure Request Form.
Yes.
And it's something that is submitted to the Freeze Committee through the Finance Department in the city of Gary. And so every week, they convene and they give basically a yay or a nay to any requests that are made from every department.
Okay, let me ask this question. The Hudson Campbell, in terms of its operations, is in the black,
Yes.
and the funding for those supplies comes out of our own account?
Yes.
Okay. I would ask that you would establish a system of inventory control with an automatic figure so that as you receive supplies and they're drawn down, when you get to a certain point, there's an automatic request for a specific amount of supplies. That way you don't get to where we are today, and you're in dire need of supplies and waiting on an approval from some place. Right? So let's do that. Let's establish an inventory control and an automatic order kickout so that get to a certain amount. We got one case left, we got 2 cases left, whatever it is. At that point, an automatic request for a specific amount of supplies goes in with the expectation that it would be approved and ordered immediately. What's the turnaround on that?
That was my question.
It all depends. So the process has been changed a couple of times. Prior to Dr. Smith coming, the last supply order I think we did was maybe late July, early August. That one had taken a couple of months, quite honestly. Yes. Because the process that was in place for procurement was that anything less than $1,000, all you really needed was a quote from the vendor to submit to be approved. Once the spending freeze went into place, then it changed into where you need 3 quotes for just about anything now. So, when we did one supply order for Ajax, which is a Gary company, we were then told that we needed to get 2 additional quotes from companies, which was a little difficult to do because everybody doesn't carry the same product. And everybody doesn't always want to deal with the city of Gary, quite honestly, because of past experiences with paying the bills. So that one took a little bit of time because I had to get the proper quotes and estimates, and then there was even some things that was just difficult to do even with that one. So that one took some time. So at the time that we did that one, we had an adequate amount of supplies, but by the time we got the supplies and what we had at the time, we had just about dwindled out. And so it put us in a difficult situation because what we were anticipating having, our reserves were completely wiped out. And so now with this one, it's just today. Hopefully we'll get an answer. But that's kind of, you know, I make the request and I politely harass people, but unfortunately, you just kind of have to wait.
Okay, we'll kind of have to wait.
Yeah, it's not the answer you want to hear, and it doesn't help us.
Yeah, it really is.
It doesn't help us at all.
You know, but all that being said, looking forward, I'm going to make a request, okay? Let's identify an agency, a company, whether it be Ajax. Ajax kind of sells everything, but let's look toward a contract with a specific supplier for the 2019 and maybe for over a 2-year period, and with a specific supplier of all of our housekeeping needs, okay? And we can take bids, we can do, now it's gotta be forecasted based on the amount of product you used in 2018, plus maybe a 7 to 10% increase, okay? And we come up with a dollar figure based on what we think we need. We give companies an opportunity, including Ajax. I think they supplied our machines, is that right?
Yes.
To bid on that, and that way we will have a contract with a specific supplier over a specific amount of time, which would eliminate you having to go and get bids every time we need to buy tissue and toilet paper and cleaning supplies. Yes?
With Ajax, though, we had to do a modification. Once you have a PO and it goes down, you can do a modification. With this particular case, we were able to negotiate and get Ajax down to one of the lower bids, which was only $43 difference. However, you still have to go through so many hoops, and we tried. Superintendent and also the manager of Hudson Campbell at that time truly tried to move it along, and so we're still in that process. And Dr. Smith, with her being new on board, it's a lot, because every week it seems like every week the process somewhat changes. Okay, so we're working on it, and we will work on seeing if we can do a contract, and that would make it a little easier.
And even to your point of doing like an automatic inventory level of order, it's something I had looked into, some kind of spreadsheet or database that we use to kind of monitor what our daily or monthly usage is. So then it would automatically tell you when you needed to place an order. Unfortunately, the software that I looked at was well beyond the price range and way too much for our smaller day-to-day operations. But it was something that, from a city's perspective, if every company, or I'm sorry, every department went in on it, it would be something useful for everybody. But for right now, we probably have to do it just like a general ledger, something like that, which still isn't a bad idea.
Okay. Other questions or comments from board members?
Well, I hope that you've expressed the crucialness of needing your supplies, because, you can't operate without. So, is there a petty cash or something that you can go to get the money you need to get, because you gotta have your supplies. Certain supplies you gotta have.
Yes.
Okay.
How much money are we investing in Hudson County?
Almost $3 million.
Transitioning from our new old software to our new software, Gym Assistant was the former software, Mind and Body is the new software. Mr. Superintendent has sat with me. We've had one training conference call together. We're going to have a second training conference call this coming Friday at noon, correct? Yes, and so the ultimate goal is to ensure that I'm trained and then the staff here will be trained on the new system. So we're in the process of transitioning from the GEM system to the MindBody to make sure and ensure that all of the information for the members have been transferred from one system to the other. And that way we're not toggling back and forth with both systems and we're just utilizing just the one system, which is MindBody. So that will be forthcoming as well, and we want to make sure that all of our staff are, they're at least proficient in utilizing the software in the event that someone may have to cover at the front desk.
There's still something we have to work out with finance department, but what this software will allow people to be able to do, they can download the app to their phones, they can pay their memberships on their phones, they can do automatic payments, it'll send them reminders, it'll eliminate the need of us having to use paper applications. They can do signatures on an iPad that we will have secured to the desk. And so this is moving us into the 21st century.
Okay.
Great.
Wow, that's so paperless. Gary Commission for Women, they've kicked off their events here for this week. They had a very successful event yesterday, and they will conclude by the end of this week. Today, they are having the Healthy Day Dance, and it will be held at 7 p.m. here in our aerobic room. And again, all of the events that are being hosted by Gary Commission for Women are free to the public. Tomorrow, they will have makeup artists, and on Thursday, that will be held on our tennis courts, and then Thursday, they will conclude here with the last event. Update on renovations. Renovations are, they've started the front entrance and will conclude, I believe it will be by February 2016 for the front entrance, or has it been kind of pushed back?
The canopy, the full completion, the last estimate we got was May.
It's May.
Question, in our packet today, there is some information on the vendor area. Are you prepared to make a recommendation on?
I would have been prepared to recommendation, but I was informed just prior to the meeting, I didn't know that we were making a recommendation today. The last was communicated to me was that we were holding off for a few weeks from the last board meeting. So I definitely would have been prepared to make a recommendation today. I didn't know that we were proceeding with the recommendation today. I was told we were waiting for a few more weeks.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'd like us to do. I want to invite you to our executive session.
Okay.
Which is at our next meeting, it'll be at 9. And let's put the vendor area on the agenda also for the executive session. We will discuss it, we will hear your recommendation, and we will make a decision at the next meeting. Okay. Yeah, November 14th will be that.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Don, Lisa Golf Course.
Good morning. Good morning. I don't know if anyone has driven by the golf course. We are continuing the fence line. Unfortunately, that is all we are able to do right now, because if you have driven by the fence line, you see that there was an accident at the golf course 2 Fridays ago. A drunk driver drove through the pump house and completely destroyed it. So anything with fertilizer or seeding or anything like that is not possible. I'm working on locating valves out there because one of the things in the next couple weeks is that the irrigation lines have to be blown out. Along with the pumps, some of the pipes were damaged, and I don't know if I can close what pipes I have to close in order to build up enough air pressure to get the water out of the lines that are in the irrigation system. So all that is what I'm doing for the next few weeks.
Do we have a report on that? I mean, in terms of where we are insurance-wise, all of that?
Yeah, so there was a police report filed. Don is correct, it was determined that it was a drunk driver. Basically catapulted the fence and ran through the pump house and miraculously didn't suffer any major injuries, and because it should have been a whole lot worse for that individual. Police report has been filed. We're waiting to get a copy of that so we can see if this individual had insurance. And so if they had insurance and everything is going on with them, everything will go through the insurance company. We've also contacted our insurance company and our representative to inform them of the damage that has occurred. And so that's the first thing they want, to see if this individual had insurance. And then if not, then of course, we would be responsible for the deductible to get everything repaired and taken care of.
Well, ultimately, they would be responsible. I would believe that we would ultimately.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
They have insurance, yeah. Everything.
Even if they don't have insurance, they're still.
Yeah, we'll
have
have
to-
to.
Correct.
That's about it.
Okay. So what about, have we started to figure out what the new pump house will cost?
We cannot get into the building right now to see the damage because the building is not safe. I mean, it's hanging. And so without taking that building down, I can't send anyone inside there.
And I know Don had done an estimate on some new pumps or a new irrigation system, and it was about 10,000 for that.
But that's
So,
not,
That's not covering the building.
the pumps, the
Yeah,
big pumps that are inside. I mean, it's amazing. Those pumps weigh 10, 20,000 pounds, and he knocked them around like nothing. I mean, it was, the police, we talked to the police the guy that took the police officer that took the report the next morning, the following Monday, I should say. He said he gingerly walked up to the car because he was afraid what he was gonna see, the shape of the body. And he said, I got up there and there was no body in there, and he had walked away. And that's how he went to somewhere on Ridge Road, called the police, said he was carjacked or whatever, and they said no.
All right, here's my question. Has all of the investigation of the site itself been completed?
As far as I know, yes, because this happened on a Friday, and I know that Sunday Don and his crew were eager to kind of clean up everything, so we got the okay from them to clean up everything. So as far as the investigation is concerned, I got the indication that GPD got everything that they needed.
Okay, so then why are we waiting to get the building torn down if it's a,
You wanna see it? That's what it looked like.
right, I drove by, yeah. But my question is, if the site was being preserved for investigation
Yeah.
purposes, and the investigation is over, then what does it take to get the building torn down?
All right, let's reach out.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying.
I don't know
Listen,
who does that in the city.
Demolition.
Demolition.
It'll be
Okay.
demolition.
all right, and
So I'll reach out to demolition
Okay.
as soon as we're done and see what, the only thing is, it's those pumps. I don't know how we get around relocating or moving those pumps around.
Sanitary district has also been out there. They're a lot more familiar with the pumps themselves. In fact, my circuit board, a Flowtronics circuit board, they're familiar with that also, which that was destroyed. And NIPSCO's been out, they shut the power off that morning. And sanitary district was also gonna get a police report and see what it said also, because I believe they pump out when the pond gets too full, so they have a vested interest in that also, of water, removing the water.
okay, that circuit board though was like a big ticket item.
It's a real big ticket item.
That's what I know. And it was destroyed in the accident. So, we need to put everything, first of all, we need to get it torn down. I'm talking about the housing. You see, we need to get the housing torn down. Then we need a listing of everything that was lost in the accident and what his repair costs are. Right? And we don't have to wait on the insurance company or even the responsible party to become involved to do that. We need to be able to say, here's what happened, here is what it is going to cost, and here it is. Okay, so let's not wait on that. All right. I'd like to have the building torn down by the next 2 weeks. If we can coordinate with the sanitary district and general services to get the things that need to be moved and stored. And I'd like to have a listing as to what it's going to cost for us to move forward. Okay. Any other questions or comments from board members?
Well, I just wanted to know, this is not going to interfere with anything else you need to do to keep or in your preparation to close down the golf course and move forward with?
Only the irrigation lines.
Okay.
You know, having to blow those out, because you can't let water sit in them because they freeze and then all your pipes are busted come springtime.
Okay, because hopefully this won't interfere with your, we had the 3-year plan of trying to rev up revenue and make you your own revenue stream.
Well, if it has to get fixed. If it doesn't get fixed, you have no irrigation, you have no golf course, so you can't.
Okay.
And I think as it relates to dealing with the responsible parties, all that information needs to be included. That they will be responsible for busted pipes if we're not able to blow it out and it freezes, and all the other, even the condition of the course in the spring, if in fact because of the inability to get things fixed, we're not able to irrigate or seed, all of that's on the table. Okay. All right.
So that's the more important reason why this should be a sense of urgency.
Yes,
to
the
get
real,
this
I mean,
done.
even for me this fall with the plans I had on seeding and stuff, I can't do it now, because you can't irrigate it.
So moving forward in the future too, once this is restored, maybe we should look at boulders or constructing something.
I've never seen anything like this. I mean, it's almost impossible. I mean,
Well, it's not impossible because
Right, so you don't want it to ever happen again.
You can't even explain how it happened because for one thing, they were going south on Harrison. Harrison from 25th to about 32nd is blocked off. It's
because the bridge is closed. you know?
Right, and so some kind of way, and you could see the barricade is broke. They went through the barricade, and they were going at a pretty good rate of speed.
Because he crushed a bench on the corner that was on the walking path, went through the fence, and I'm thinking that there's a little sand pile there, that he got airborne because you don't see tire marks then until right before the building where the tire marks hit then again, and I mean, it's like a torpedo going through that building. But the amount of damage he did without, I can't believe he walked away.
Right.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
One concern that we have is I'm not sure if we're gonna be finished with winterization by the 31st. I was informed that things are getting pushed back. I met with Superintendent George, because they had a couple complications and other projects to work on. So he said he was reaching out to try to make this a sense of urgency. They said they would have it done before, they couldn't give me an exact date, but I've been pressing and pressing, and they said that all I've been getting is, we're gonna get it done, just don't worry about it. But they couldn't assure me anymore that they would get it done before the 31st. So the updated list I have given you, nothing else has been done on the list, besides the projects that I've been working on.
Okay, the work you did was absolutely great. You're building the timeline, making the request, and doing the things that you were able to do. It's absolutely great. You're now in a position where moving forward is now out of your hands.
Right.
And so, I'm gonna ask that superintendent, let's do what we can to push those things. We need to have some kind of meeting, with, the representatives of general services to reemphasize how important this is to how we start up in the spring. Let's keep it.
Also, we're working on springtime and summer programming. I met with Superintendent Jordan. I assured them that I kind of want to start more of March of right now I'm sorting things together, of putting everything that we need, ordering stuff that we need for the summer and spring. And I want to start in March. When the first day that it started hitting 60 degrees, that we just start putting things together. He said we're going to try our best to try to accommodate that, but we're working with different departments. So assuring dates is, I'm doing more on my end of, once I have everything together, all they have to do go in and just put it in. Right now I have all the motors and stuff in the shop, so everything basically now is just about putting it together. And so we're working on programs because I want to get more people to come out to the parks. It was good that we had the Boys and Girls Club come out last year, but now I'm trying to reach out to more of the community, daycare, summer programs, and just let them know that, you can come out and utilize the parks. And at the beach, I've kind of come up with programs that accommodate for little kids and children with disabilities. Because we don't have any programs that, geared towards any kids with disabilities. And I do have a background, my degree is in behavioral science, so I can help with programming for different kids.
Any questions, comments from board members? Thank you.
All right, Kiana DeLosa, Youth Services Bureau.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Youth Services Bureau, our out-of-school time, after-school program, we have sent informational letters out to the parents in kindergarten and first grade to start our after-school program. We're looking at starting the second week in November. We want to do about 20 to 25 youth for our after-school program, working with our Let's Move, and also working with our Cities Connecting Children to Nature. We are looking for any youth that are interested in being part of our youth council. We would like 8th through 11th graders because our 12th graders graduate and it kind of leaves us a hole. So we're looking for youth that are interested in politics, that are interested in civic engagement, to be a part of our youth council. You can call us at 881-5270. You can email me, kdelosa@ci.gary.in.us. Name, phone number of the child and the age. That will be great. We will reach out to those youth. We had a day of service on the 13th of October with the domestic violence shelter, Rainbow Art, and it was an awesome, wonderful job that the youth did. It was just a day, I think it was rewarding for all of us. We cleaned their pantry, moved some things around for them. It was a really nice day. I think you might have pictures. I mean, I've given you guys pictures for that. And with that, we've decided we want to do more with that, with the shelter, because there are youth that are in there. So we want to do more with the shelter. Our Cities Connecting Children to Nature, we are on the go with that. Our program coordinator, Michael Morgan, has started to go out to different schools, different organizations to get our surveys done. He's been here at the Hudson and Campbell on Friday as well as Saturday, talking to the youth here to find out their interests. We're starting a lunch and learn. We're trying to connect with the schools to do a lunch and learn, and what we're trying to do is learn from the youth what they would like to see with this program, what nature is to them. So that information has gone out to the administrators. So we're very excited about how that program is moving. We've been given the date of November 30th to have an implementation plan in place for that additional $50,000. Our team is moving forward with that. We'll have another meeting today. We meet every 2 weeks doing a working, it's called a working meeting, just to find out where every area is at and if we're ready to move forward with our plans.
And we will be participating in Trunk or Treat, which is next Wednesday. Again, we are asking for candy donations for anybody who would like to give candy donations to the youth. We are going to have our band decorated for Trunk or Treat. Excuse me. Our van will be one of the vans decorated for Trunk or Treat, so we would like to, if you guys could give us some candy, we would like that. You can bring it to our building, 839 Broadway. We're on the second floor, 202. You can give it to the Parks Department, either one, that would be great. Also, we are looking for youth who would like to volunteer. Also, any youth that would like to give volunteer hours for the Thanksgiving giveaway basket, which I believe the date is November 19th. But don't really quote me on that. But we are looking for youth who would like to volunteer to do that as well. You can contact Youth Services Bureau with your name, number, and I can give you that information then. And I believe that is all the information that I have.
Any questions from board members?
I had a question, Mr. Loza, about the trunk or treat. Is
Yes.
it too late if you want to be,
A car?
participate in?
It is not too late. We just had a meeting yesterday, so it is not too late. You can, and anybody who's interested, if you would like to have a car there, we're trying to get more cars out there. It's because it is a closed-in area where you can watch the children and monitor them versus them going to neighbors' houses and strangers' houses. They'll be right there with us. We have the police on staff, we have ambulance, and all of those people will be there. There's movies, there's a movie that's going to be played, so yes, you can contact Gloria at the front desk and just give her your information to be a vendor. So we are still looking for vendors for that as well. Go ahead, I can give it to you after you leave here. And I believe that is all I have for you, sir. So did I forget something?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Superintendent's report.
All right. Want to give you an update on the Hatcher Park demolition. At the last meeting, the board approved the demolition of the pavilion. A couple of months prior to that, you had approved the filling of the pool. However, somebody very intelligent pointed out to me that Hatcher Park was, so DNR has, I think it's either 5 or 6 different parks that you really can't repurpose or do anything with in the city of Gary. And as you all know very well, MC Bennett was one of them, which is why we are not in compliance with DNR to this day. So somebody very intelligent suggested that I reach out to DNR prior to us doing anything from a demolition standpoint to the building. I reached out to them, talked with Bob Ronson, who informed me that as long as we didn't repurpose the park, if we would still allow public access to it, we would not fall out of compliance with them. I followed that up with an email, and he emailed me back for confirmation. So if any questions ever arise as to what we did or why we did it, we'll have that information on record. So we can move forward. So once I got that okay from him, I sent that information to GSD for us to start that process. So hoping we can start that process sooner rather than later. I just didn't want to risk us falling further out of compliance with DNR. I just wanted some clarification from them.
Okay.
All right. Next item I have is the State Board of Accounts audit that was released. So that was last Monday. I think I emailed you all a copy of it. Just a few things I wanted to point out, bless you, in relation to the report itself. Some things, there's some things that are getting lost in the shuffle that people really don't understand. So just a few points. One, this was from 2015 to 2016. So that was the audit period for the report. The other thing is it was self-reported. So it wasn't a situation where somebody from the State Board of Accounts noticed something and started the investigation. There was a City of Gary employee who actually alerted the State Board of Accounts that something looked off and we needed them to come in and do an audit to determine exactly where everything went. The other thing that should be noted as well is that while There is no excuse for the amount of money, which was $7,700, approximately $7,700, to be unaccounted for. I think it's important to also point out where that is relative to what was brought in during that time period. So if you take the revenue that was brought in during that time period, it was $350,000, approximately $350,000. So that $77.25 that is unaccounted for was roughly about 2% of the total revenue that Marquette brought in during that time period. And lastly, and I didn't know this at the time as a Hudson Campbell director, but I remember this time period because I remember we all had to participate in internal controls training.
Right.
And nobody told us why. It was just like, okay, it was citywide. Everybody had to participate. Anybody who had anything to do with money had to participate in internal controls training. And so this is a training that's been ongoing annually since then. We have a policy, internal controls policy, that every employee gets. And so it's a training, again, that everybody gets as they come into the city. So it all makes sense now that when this transpired, the internal controls was, I guess, and I'm just speaking as somebody who may not know exactly what's going on, but it seems as if that was a reaction to correct maybe what might have been going on. It might not have just been Marquette Pavilion, it could have been somewhere else in the city. But I do remember specifically around that time frame that they implemented those trainings. And so we have a system of policies and procedures that are in place to safeguard or minimize the opportunity to be able to have money that's not accounted for. We also have a spreadsheet of daily deposits that each revenue center has. So the Hudson Campbell has one, Gleason has one, Marquette Pavilion has one, and it is cross-referenced with what is called a Quietus receipt number. So we'll log in what was brought in during the day, and then the receipt number, and we keep all of those, all of the paperwork, all of the receipts in the file. So when we get audited by state board or internally every year, it's all together, and you can check it one against the other. So that's also in place. And then the other thing is, it was something I did just to get a handle on what was being brought in and being paid out when I first was the Hudson Campbell director. But the balance sheets that we provide you all every month, that is information that we take directly from RDS, which is a financial system that we use. And so what we do is just move it from RDS and put it into that spreadsheet so we can see, the numbers themselves and see what's being brought in and what's being paid out. So there's a lot of mechanisms that are in place now that might not have been in place in that time frame. But I just wanted to add those points of clarity to the discussion because I know a lot of people, had some reactions to the report when it was released. So just wanted to share that information. Last thing on my list is the fall maintenance plan. So we are in the process of doing our final cuts as it relates to the grass. And so our crew is out there doing that now. But the work does not stop. So one of the things that we're looking to do is make a heavy dent into the invasive trees that are growing in our fence line. Don mentioned the outstanding work that his crew is doing at Gleason. It's something that you wouldn't recognize unless you were out there regularly. And I remember when somebody on his crew mentioned it to me, and I said, oh, I can see 35th Avenue now from inside the park, because the trees had kind of grown through the fence so thick that you couldn't, but now you can see. And so hopefully that makes an experience where maybe people who, sad to say, didn't know that there was a golf course of people playing golf now see the golf course, and maybe hopefully they're more enticed to come in and play. But for us in our parks, you know, we want to increase the visibility in some of our parks and some of the basketball courts. You know, as a parent, you know, probably as a paranoid parent, I always want to have eyes on my kids whenever they're anywhere. So this will help with that definitely. And I think we have a really good plan in place. We won't be able to get to every single park by the time the weather breaks, but I think we're going to make a significant dent in it. Once the weather does break, and that may be coming sooner than we expect, we're going to shift our plans inside to take care of the pavilions. And so within the next few days, Claude and I are going to drive around to start off with most of our popular, heavily used facilities, look inside and outside, see what kind of work we can do, determine what we can do internally, and then determine what we may need to do to make the repairs if we have to hire an outside contractor, things like that. So, you know, our work doesn't stop. We're stopping cutting grass, but now we're shifting our focus, you know, a little bit more to improve the conditions of some of our pavilions. Also wanted to encourage, Kayana mentioned the Harvest Fest. This is I think it's either third or the fourth year we've had it. This is fourth year we've had it here. It's a really good turnout every year. This will be the second time we've done the Trunk or Treat, which is held in the southern half of the parking lot here in the Hudson Campbell. Last year, we had a line wrapped around the whole parking lot, and so there were a bunch of kids, and I know at some point a lot of cars ran out of candy. So we have put more of an emphasis on having those vendors bring more candy. Thank you for asking if we needed more vendors. I think, Canada, what do we have, about 20?
We had 20 and they wanted 40.
Yeah, so we still have room for more. So anybody who's interested, you can call Gloria's at 881-1300. So if you want to participate and spread some joy and some toothaches to some kids on Halloween, please call 881-1300 to participate. It's a really good event. It's a real exciting time, and over the last few years, the kids have had a lot of fun participating in it. So that concludes my report.
Questions from board members? Takes us to public comment.
We have Richard and Mrs. Thomas. Did you want to speak?
Sure, just I'll be brief.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Dr. Shelley Thomas. This is my husband, Richard Thomas. We were I represent the family. Our beautiful children got married, and we're the ones with the concerns for our wedding September 15th at the Pavilion.
Okay, Ms. Thomas, before you proceed.
I'm not actually going to say anything personal. I simply wanted to let you know that we will be available if you have questions to your executive session.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
Yep.
You're invited to come to the executive session.
Thank you. And also, Kamisha did submit to you guys
Yes, we have
information, so you can look at it. We'll be available. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, that's it. That's all.
Mr. Purnell, you just came in, didn't get a chance to sign. Did you want to address the board?
No, we just had Howard Park to bid opening.
Okay.
Now, we were recently at Hammond Park, boy. They started the park season in 2019 already. They have opened up bids for new lawn equipment and everything for the golf courses and the parks. And I think it's pretty wise if we did the same. It's time to start right now instead of waiting till, April or May.
I'm in agreement with you. That's a wonderful idea.
Good luck.
Exactly. With that, I'll entertain. Oh, Mr. Lawson, yes.
Just one more thing, and I gave you guys a flyer not tomorrow, Saturday, there is a nature hike at Jackson Park.
It starts at 11. Everybody is invited to come and see the beautiful nature and resources that our city holds that's just natural to our area. So I just wanted to mention that again. Anybody want to come and see Jackson Park, Saturday at 11 o'clock. And if you bring children, they'll have treats and things like that for the children.
Yeah, it's on the back, it's on the back side.
Oh, that's right, I
It's on
saw
the very
it.
back there.
I did see that.
Then I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
A meeting is adjourned.